Right, every movie be about sports arena. Brasso say transfer for the good moon some the bro. Na Friday, dia na ye ballroom. A weekend say was here to me debate. Say season and why din and no ye din no. Bet ni din so I din papa. But Sandra Vincent or us and a boy.
Yeah, a boy.
Yeah.
From 7 boy. The correct score, players to score in Man United game, Tiago Amada, Ryan Checky, the go and full time running now boy. On say anytime you can say. In as much as the best amount also list of Saturday in Kansas
you discussing.
Say be a go in Sunday. So I keep takeaways. Mostly I am not ever because you say bet in the day. Uchakra Yanum Nano say yes Madrid. Okoluzuka only lose by 3 goals. You can say but in the game you Chelsea be a
almost say me party be 28,000. Long odds, 220 odds. Or Madrid 2, no change 2. So I have 2 matches in Penanaka.
In that same game, Madam for SY SA in the bet. A man cash out 10,000. But that bet no, I can Madrid game no. Or my Madrid handicap 2. If the Madrid win here, Madrid team cry a pull like inside Madrid lose by 2 goal margin. Yeah. So he knew that this is Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Yes, a
man cash out 10,000 when you
okay.
You the key takeaways now mostly the analysis be play away or good mostly maybe in the last 4 games or she goes then player to score. So back I remember last a month ago who started player to score Jenny B.
Yeah.
And near bopa.
Yeah.
And shot on target. Until these are the key takeaways in the ADBA. Most of times I am a typha pa. And I don't know us Sniff boy even bigger than the straight wins now. You become the so-called big teams now. Both of Makoko Yomus would steady better. I say every week and every match week be a big teams SA bet.
Yeah.
Big teams in SA bet. Every week be a big teams in SA bet.
Okay.
So I don't here.
Right, it's this and the other boy come. And then so you be making sure say you will run be here to me a conquer. Good news at my Liverpool. And it's a brand your friend Mo Salah. I stand in a contract 2 years. So and a brand your friend a year Van Dijk. So I stand in a contract into good news. And Chelsea Noni Madueke ultimately say yes 16 GA across all competitions. Highest for any Chelsea winger Baku across the last 6 seasons. Into ultimately say kakra Noni Madueke ultimately say yes or peja ne numbers ne mu. Enti ye be ram na ndra wo hu ndra onana obia tutu ayam ama o se wasane ade so wakaka bi a kire no okoya 2 blunders etia Man United. Enti ye be hwe na fe ye distance chiremu ne so de aba be ba wo ndra 10 against 11 against Rangers be ba want to me and share single goal crowd 7 bet ya honum ti be rasa game no na fe weekend games no so no ye ram na bibia so no atumi e de akonkan Enzo Maresca ama hint say ohwehwe striker or a copy of Nicholas Jackson or so hwehwe striker or a copy of Nicholas Jackson or so munya copy of Nicholas Jackson ni be jumpa de ne aye ne nsem na wo kan bi ni wo hono ma che say otimi say yes ti e be hwe striker ben and or copy of Nicholas Jackson obviously abeto dwa say Chelsea be sign striker what type of striker and a Chelsea kwa sign and Enzo Maresca ma yen hint I say I want to get the full quote. Or say, okay, if we have a copy of Nico, it's okay. If we can have a copy of Nico, it's okay. I have said many times, and you can see as well, with Nico, we are a better team. Nico is the one we need. Last season, he scored goals without penalties. This season, he scored goals until he was injured. So emphasis, if we can have a copy of Nico, it's okay.
Yeah.
So clearly, also say omubenya, we are even crowd this also say even we are not in the summer.
Yeah.
To talk about striker, but if we can get a copy of Nicholas Jackson, ebeboa any idea. Right, yeah. Shannon so say oko street is watching. Street is watching. Facebook. Street is watching. Facebook. Ubenya show no live. Street is watching. Ubenya show no live. Bomodia na join the show no. Facebook. Street is watching. Na fe ABN Radio 1. Saso ena oko YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV, MYBET.AFRICA TV, MYBET.AFRICA TV. Joining our YouTube one na fi MYBET online. Na fi bibia ntumi enkoyi one Endra Europa ne Conference League. Utimu say yes. Bobo kwa ye friend no. Bodo Glimt ni home no ne de okoto no kwa de aye den ubedi. Oche Lazio 2-0. Lyon any Manchester United 2-2. Rangers any Atletico Bilbao 0-0. And at Tottenham Hotspur any Eintracht Frankfurt 1-1. There was a Conference League. Chelsea Koshe Ligia also 3-0. Betis Eshe Jagiellonia 2-0. And Fiorentina Koshe Celje 2-1. And SK Rapid Koshe Jagaden. In the Chelsea, either Obeshia Jagaden or SK Rapid in the semi-finals, if they are able to not lose more than 3 goals. It was Stamford Bridge. So these are the games I call so. Jama yenshe munafe yemeshe ne matches no.
Yeah, listo my chat here for na yeah congratulate on my mutie jumade no munya bet in the day, and especially those who are in the Telegram group. Yeah, they can say Telegram group no. I want to hear the main 2 page. I will say open better I want also call because I want every day say when utie show na say you may say one of the quotes cry the Telegram group we can send the link na to we link in so pay already start accounting that no answer we 20 yambo mabaso plus the intakes are the mom you giving once now can bodo as before I not give me baso I wanted to talk about Bodo ni Lazio game no and I knew that it was going to be very hard for Lazio. I knew it was going to be very hard for Lazio and because of intimate me and yakwan anka ehwasem but Lazio losing to 2-0 to Bodo Glimt isn't something that make us say news, and I say you should be surprised of, because Bodo used to when they are playing at home over 24 games on my ball home. We the friendly gamer on boy against Albok omolusu 5-3 in that game. We saw game ni frima listo none of the games on my ball and omolusu more than 3 games in over 24 games or in over 20. We saw friendly game ni frima 23 games on my ball so far. Last 23 omolusu just 2 losses no eba between Rosenborg in the Norway League runs 26 and against Karabakh FK in the Europa League phase in 4th game at Karabakh Koshomu 2-1. Since then, Omun Lusu home. We might share a lot of teams, a lot of European teams, and then other teams. Omun Lusu a bad Omu home. Now, quite question. No, I mean, was all positive about Leisure was of how much there are some venues who are Okoha Eddie, unless who that character. No.
Yeah, and one Chelsea player Akasa found the experience of Munyaye or the atmosphere. No? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that Bodo game was a game that I knew was going to be very hard for Lazio to, I mean, but losing to 2-0 was something that I wasn't expecting. At least I was expecting maybe a handicap 2 would go in favor of Lazio, because checking Lazio at their team at least almost they have a very fine record this season, or more season on and off. But in terms of say Omobo away, they are also a side of Mutaya. But one thing about Lazio is that the venues are very hard. To watch check here or more games are they don't normally draw at home. In over almost 20 games from some away. They lost to Inter, they lost to AS Roma, they lost to Parma, they lost to Juventus and Bologna. And when they can't Bologna home, not Chelsea, one of the toughest venues ever Europe. So going into this game, I knew that was going to be very hard for Lazio, but I mean, I was surprised that they couldn't even register a goal against Bodo Glimt. Or no, so I mean, it's in as much as or share a lot of goals, no, they find it very difficult. Say, almost beat me, I keep it clean sheet. In fact, my idea to the extent that my last 3 games on my ball, home, no, we did not allow you, no, I'm on keep 3 consecutive clean sheets. But aside that, now I'm about almost be 8 to 3 games are no more to me and keep a clean sheet at home. So I mean, kudos to them. And I think that when they are coming to a room, it's going to be a different game altogether. Rome, Lazio can equally score them 2-0, and maybe the game will travel to the extra time. Let's go Bilbao and the Rangers game. Then me catch you say Bilbao for no. I'm very eager say this Europa League, no, they want to win it, and I mean, no, Omundi in the history book for the first time or more club in history because watch a keep Bilbao. Nyame this season Europa League final. You home. And one thing they say, history soon change say any European tournament or any tournament competition be a cup that should be any interesting venue between clubs and especially even for international tournaments. The host nation and as a team now you talk about the final no home no. Most of the time some type of final. Most of the times being it international tournament, being it club, continental tournament or competitions, some type do final. Until this season Europa League never was some mess and they are doing everything possible right. Say final no and imagine the basket community hosting the Europa League final and the basket club Atletico Bilbao omo venue home venue against any other team. Imagine the atmosphere, imagine the number of spectators are on Moko Park and Sokokoshe ball, the enthusiasm, the noise, and how they will lift up the Europa League now to a certain level. So I think that the Oma family said they want to reach the final. So watch check it or more journey so far in the Europa League. They've been getting on and off on and off journey so far. They went to lose to Roma, but they still was some mess. Roma show they played against a lot of clubs. Victoria plays in Okoni home. They played against a lot of clubs. Okolusu away now. We make sure say Odoba some mess or bet you show. So going to Rangers home and make say Rangers a club beer. On and off, and in fact, previous games boy before money let's go Bilbao. They had 2 crucial wins because this is a Rangers team. Okoshe Fenerbahce, was too good Salakoglu Stadium, Turkey. But by fear, Fenerbahce, but despite the fact that only a lot of goals, when you 3-1 victory, Turkey, and Obebe lose 2-1 to Fenerbahce on home, and a Fenerbahce free. So after that Fenerbahce loss, in fact, winning on penalty after the winning on penalties, go game no Fenerbahce winning 2-0 and a game no call extra time. So it means that they lost 2-0 at home and the extra time winning on penalties and they qualify. So they lost 2-0 at home. And even if you say Tadic mo any Fred mo say penalties are and Rangers wouldn't have had a spot in the quarterfinals of the Europa League this season. And yes, that was a motivation factor for them. Aside that, they went ahead to beat their rivals, their bitter rivals in the Scottish League, which is Celtic. Celtic share no. It was Celtic home 3-2, and that game, Celtic Rangers share 2 goals. And Celtic, but and the die embers of the game, and Abranta and the Hamza Igamani. It's a share goal anymore, to me, Edinya. That victory, and you're looking at game, they also went ahead to Ayetman Eddie Dandy, Ekokochomoshom, and Obetina Fee, Emma Hebene Beshon. Said this season, Rangers, me catch us a list all the last 4 games they were home or lose. So I fear for them, so me shall let's go Bilbao. in as much as a very good away record no omo ba home a minim say pressure o say den o omo ntimi anwini games no nteno a we selection coach Ferguson here ya or selecting most of the key players and again omo dependable defender Abraham din Eddie Robin proper and so nya red card in just 30 minutes into the game. Nteno they made very sure say omo and consider goal. And then I think that Abraham din Eddie Alex Berenenga let's go be back for that because they had a penalty and a couple penalty they said because if not that let's go Bilbao would have a 1-goal lead against Rangers after they were one man down on boy 10 against 11 against let's go Bilbao for in fact let's go Bilbao they dominated the game, they created a lot of chances and let's go Bilbao dominated game 71%, about 19 shots, and you see they were wasteful in front of goal because out of the 19 shots on boy on target, which means that they didn't do very well. Corner kicks let's go Bilbao and Konya 9 corner kicks and a lot of things. So I think that in as much as Rangers they've been having a very bad record in as before this game no more lose 4 games consecutive at us home, and despite the fact that Omodi red card they managed to get a draw but in the second leg make say a blessing in disguise for Rangers least of all because this is a team ne last games our boy will home on share a better home record this season, especially in the last 10 games. Until checking the last 10 home games waba least of all we lose 5 about draw 1 and our winning 4. But let's compare Bilbao so away games. Bilbao also on share a very good away record, but you look at Rangers ni away games also it tells you that Rangers have a very good away record because when they can catch us okoko share Fenerbahce okoko share oni United then I think Olusu to United. So I check it in the last 9 or 10 games at least all Olusu just once, that is the loser United share no Old Trafford share. Since then against Dundee, against Hibernian, against Madawa, winning or draw. He won against Rangers or winning against Celtic and Heart. And say Rangers this season and away or performing better since we obo home. And so of course I'm amazing. And let's go Bilbao shouldn't rate them. And you say omo underrate omo crowd, they should underrate them because this is a team of course Fenerbahce, just in Mourinho side Fenerbahce on the home. But Belusu ewo the whole Belusu ewo no aksansa ne old backyard. So in as much as let's go Bilbao for Rangers near a red card down in as early as 30 minutes into the game. Omunya penalty they said no they should be aware. And me if Rangers eko kose upset or some mesa I won't be surprised least all. And no Tottenham Hotspur after set Nuno coach Ange Postecoglou in the second season your G Trophy people were hoping that at least either the FA Cup, the Europa League and also the EFL Tottenham Hotspur beating and the only hope Ababeka the Europa League and playing against Eintracht Frankfurt it should have been an easy win for Tottenham Hotspur least of all because checking Frankfurt they were on a very high note this season. No more very good form this season. In fact, we checking the Bundesliga or more at third behind Leverkusen and Bayern Munich respectively. But then since Omar Mamouche free hono, Omar Lusu Omar firepower because Mamouche free hono, no double figures in terms of goals and assists. So well share the reason why Man City got for Omar Mamouche was he was one of the best players in the Bundesliga. And I'm looking for Mamouche by it's Mamouche by they have a very strong quad, but still Mamouche free on or Hugo Ekitike. Oh no, take things into the hands and they are checking Hugo. He's been scoring for fun. For a Frankfurt, and he's one of the main guys performing very well over the European front. And then he was the personal and also 8 million goal no Emma Frankfurt against Tottenham Hotspur as early as 6 minutes and Oshego Pedro Porro and I think that going to Frankfurt home they are very difficult. In fact, Tottenham Hotspur they've been having on and off season so far ultimately and winning to us 2 times. The last time Oyebi was when no good run he won against Brentford by winning Karabakh, West Ham, AZ Takma, Essence by winning City and winning Aston Villa. Since then, ultimately and winning to us 2 times. That was when people believed that Tottenham Hotspurs were having their mojo back and things were going well for them. But Eintracht Frankfurt this all, I think that Tottenham Hotspurs could have taken this opportunity because the banner knockout stage say home very advantageous. Unya home games you try as much as possible to pin your opponent. Now away strategy to win your game. But there are several strategies teams be picking a point away or mobile home. So I mean, going into Germany next week in the second leg, Tottenham Hotspur will say they have to go all out. If they don't go all out, it means that their chances of qualifying to the semi-finals of the Europa League are very slim for them. The game of the moment no be any also Lyon and Manchester United game. And Metina Hakacho say straight from the on center, United for best at somebody warm up. Lyon or transfer no best at the pressure ebe to Onana su ye pa. American catchers the Lyon ultras for one of the ultras they are very annoying, they are very loud, and these are the ultras some point in time when Olympic Lyon for echo a relegation last season ho baby the darker side free players no edni di komo the you're from the bad kids ultras ni no free players no di komo masa nzemhuna mudi no. This is a club, some of the legends players will be about and now we share the noise, the atmosphere. Whenever Onana starts a warm up, the 9 Kaboa, it tells you that Onana every mistake will be and will affect the team. And then we share Thiago Amada, that young chap from Brazil, Obai is also called by 6 months but from Argentina, Obai 6 months he has started playing for the Argentina national team, playing for one of the traditional big clubs in France League. And so free kick no Nana share. I wouldn't blame him too much. But the thing is, if you're a free kick now, the United defenders didn't react. So if you're free kick now, that very good. No? Because when they play the ball, United players didn't believe he said they had played Mata. Any Lyon players now, or make attempts and come down back and ball. They had played them offside. And so when the ball was going, Maguire, Lenny Yoro, Mazura Musa, they didn't even make any attempt to clear the ball. And they knew that Onana have a ball here. But you see, because United players not making any attempt on where the ball was going, Onana already were deep after the so the attempt of the players in the air call Onana and dive it straight right away. Because he knew that if Mata 9 can ball and I say, and let's go Leon 4 player, back on 9 can ball now. The direction of the ball it will change. And the moment a ball no AC hono, the ball was faster than Onana. So in the first goal, it is something that I wouldn't want to blame Onana because Omu making attempt was a brand and didn't matter. And in Yakati. These are the players who make it their attempt. And I wouldn't blame Onana. But I mean the second goal was is something that over pointed to my player Basha. Ne Onana mistake. It wasn't a boy, no so to to home. So I think that Onana being the records and mistakes are in fact he's the England goalkeeper list of what making errors leading to goal 8 more than any Premier League goalkeeper this season. But it doesn't depict the fact that he's a fantastic goalkeeper, he's a great goalkeeper. But I mean this is a goalkeeper or bias Akobo Inter Milan the Champions League final about United. It tells you the kind of goalkeeper. But I mean the kind of errors that Onana is affecting the team and the errors no any errors the team is leading by 5 goals. Errors errors are costing team a huge and crucial points into the game. Now let me look into the game now. United set up na list of Enra. I think that coach Paulo Fonseca tactically he tried as much as possible to limit a Man United team. But one time who was giving him say if United another player like Bruno Fernandes and Kobe up front, and especially in fact if United had started Joshua Zexi up front with Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho, I think that the never beat Makoye Eddie Amomuye pa because check how I name corner and the only player now could beat me at the ball across the final third of Man United team was Bruno Fernandes, but he too was playing up front. No ball anymore. So it was very hard for Manuel Ugarte and Abrantade Casemiro to get the balls to Ayomu. And a little timer, Bruno Fernandes ebe drop ya deep oba beji bobiano. Listo or the ball no kwa na Hoyland any Ganacho almost say balls. And that was the thing near Manukoso. In general, Washa, if United is in possession, Timothy Leon, they were playing a 4-3-3 formation. But when they are playing Omuja Thiago Amanda, Mikel Taudi, and Abrantani Rancheki up front. These three players. And Mikel Taudi ni a striker bia. On yes, I strike up zone Fifi or left, no about right, but mostly no operating from the left side. The Thiago Amanda so running in between. In the Northshire, Nicolas Tagliafico, Mata, Niakete, and Abrantani and Maitland-Niles, former Arsenal player. No. These were the 4 center backs. But anytime a United kita ball ni biano, Abrantani Paul Akoku, or no be dropping in between the defenders, Mata and Niakete. Then you also have Veretout, also being then to say United a defender. You say omo attack here. They play a 3-back system. Then Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro will sit. Between the 3 central defenders no more anymore. Then Abrantani Eddie Dogu, Abrantani Eddie Diego Dalot. Then you have Bruno Fernandes. You have Abrantani Rasmus Hojlund. Any Abrantani Garnacho to have more men in front of the goal. And see, already Ruben Amorim's system no but when he's attacking, he has more men attack. When he's defending, he also have more men, same 5 players on meet him so defend. They had more men also in defense. In Zadom here and say, Omajai Thiago Amada, Omajai Mikel Taudi, any Rancheki, no anymore. They're correcting Toriso, Ejina Eye Omani. And how they were marking the players was 1v1, almost press here. All the 3 players, almost pressing the 3 center backs. And then Nicolas Tagliafico, no was the left back, or no be called one or you see Paul Akoku covering in for Abrantani and Nicolas Tagliafico. Say Abrantani and Maitland-Niles, so Echo Coprese Abrantani Dogua, who currently Toriso covering the right back position for them. Tell how they were playing, how they were pressing United team, it working very well for them. And eliminating United from creating a lot of chances in the game. And Usher United at least before giving a boy United for just 2 big chances for the team create here. And I'm about 13 shots, less than 16 Timothy Leon for 18 boy. Expected goals, total shots, everything. Leon were the better side. They created a lot of chances. And I made Maka say, Abrantani and Mikel Taudi list we see a lot of chances, especially in the first half. And Kausenka Leon for 3 goals up. Mikel Taudi see a lot of chances, or see a lot of chances. I know Kausenka to me a Piama a lot of players are almost him saying Torres also see a lot of chances are. But I mean, Medicanka say Bruno Fernandes is like a jewel in the Man United team. Whatever he does, perfect. Checking the number of chances are Okreti here and Momoshe. In fact, chances are Okreti here, the goal are Len Euro a share and also Zegzi final goal now Okoko share. Medica say Joshua Zegzi might not be having a better career in United season, but I mean this system now coach Ruben Amorim is UT Abrantani and Rasmus Hojlund. And Hojlund Amaya who said United needs a striker and is not a player Obetimi United for Obetimi Yoma free sound cost. I think that Leon for no but yes, still United still remains unbeaten and arguably they are the best team and the biggest team in our clubs are on the Europa League in this year. So I mean that crucial draw no there, but in fact United this season we check on Europa Leagues now mostly omoko away omoko pick draw the number home no ababe winning and we check you omoni Leona and no metra can say in as much as Leon United they share 4 times and yeah Leon share United, but United going to Lyon home in France United they share Lyon that. And omu games omo boy nyina no draw. So that is the reason why I make sure say straight points the game will win in a goalless draw. It's going to be a full-time draw. And luckily enough, Abrantani Dean I think Rancheki 90 plus 5 minutes goal nya no if Lacazette had come into the game in Kebet Mabo. But I think that
so Obamu but Abia
Oba Missing Obamun Tema.
Okay.
Yes, in Kebet Mabo, but Paul Akoku so a player be at least how a ball given it was something that a ball the tactical display on boy was something that to match United players 1v1 and also limit them in attack. Senabia Abema Leon for it may create chances, and I think that Leon players they were wasteful a lot in front of the same as the United games. But I think that Onana cost the United very well because this was a game United for now come over home area pick a point, and Onana and let's see or more down in the Conference League. Chelsea League was so many can say 9 out of 9 wins. I mean a year surprise. Chelsea playing against Legia was so in as much as Legia was so playing at home, they are giants in their domestic league, was always difficult to meet about Chelsea because we had the squad depth at Chelsea were very difficult to Legia was of formation. But yesterday I was happy said Noni Madueke in your 2 goals and a Jenny Sancho so in your 2 assists just to boost the confidence a bit me more and watch him Madueke when he can say he is a player that when Chelsea no used to data the Cotton he was one of the best wingers from that Eredivisie in terms of chances creation, goals and assists. He was up there, and Chelsea for find a buy. I mean, playing for PSV and playing for Chelsea. But anytime I mean, you can say there are a lot of players they will play very well for smaller clubs, but when they come to big clubs, they will flop. And yes, be a muscle, but the pressure and even say chance cry, they might be boss. One here a bit more lose confidence, and it's something that I think that Noni Madueke or that mentality. He's always trying to prove that. I mean, it's time when things are in place a bit. But there's one thing when Chelsea got covered, I wasn't happy was the injury records. But about Chelsea, the injury records as to when all PSV hasn't been the same. It means that they have been trying to manage the game time. If he really wants to stay at Chelsea, he has to be showing glimpses. He has to be showing signs to the board, to the coaches that when given time, he can improve. Because next season, Estavio Beba, Kendrick Payas Beba, and there are a lot of players Chelsea will want to buy. And yes, still Pedro Neto or winning in share sports or the right position. So if he really wants to stay, I think that he has to be consistent. In fact, some of the Chelsea players, Nicholas Jackson, Ernie Branton, they Noni Madueke, and some of the players in their consistency. Because when you are playing for big club, if you are not consistent, or major or how foot before Fraba. So to me, I think that was a very good game, and that 3 victory, Chelsea, one leg into the semi-final. No, Real Betis and Jagiellonia, it was an easy game, and Bakambu Rodriguez goes on me and they are a bit more bomb. In fact, I don't see the Jagiellonia for no bit more cause any upset to Real Betis. So it was a short victory for Real Betis, and I'm not surprised so much win. Fiorentina, also of course one of the big giants in the Conference League. I'm going to share Selgi in a 2-0 victory by coming to Italy is going to be very hard. So Makoko win this. I don't know so Mbahuma they will come and seal the game, and then Dagejani SK Rapid for these are the teams I'm for Crash and John, but these 2 teams in the list I was expecting over 1.5 goals ain't me but Ochake these 2 teams Omami Ochake Junction for number home now no more lose 2 times. So coming into this game, they were not highly motivated. In fact, in their last 4 games, no more lose 3 and no more win just 1. So I think that SK Rapid game planner or Modukomo and Washa Mugo no Munya, it's me very late for them, especially in the 62nd minute, and also a Ongwa Munya it's me bomb. So I think that the Europa League, and not all the games it provided over 1.5 apart from a gigantic game, any SK Rapid, and also in the Europa League, all the games it provided over 1.5 goals apart from Air Rangers and Let's Go Bilbao game on list on board and run.
Okay, right. So where Endra games share nane bia so no koye honoma and de ho nsam no de bro. Say it appears to be a set Chelsea I likely qualify. Real Betis going up 2-0 mbekwa away there, but then you would expect say meet me about more than more a progress at the accord. Fiorentina to me ako we ni wa way there. And SK Rapid for so to me kwa away kwa share Jagaden 1-0. So you would expect say Bohuma they will obviously try and maintain the lead to qualify. Omuna are likely so make Chelsea. Because Chelsea so quite weak share 3. So very very difficult Chelsea better than face Legia was of for no Embra. No me I think that the atmosphere was better than the players. Players almost some papa Legia for no money more back see. Defending now, but Chelsea to me find a way to me share 3 goals. It could have even been more, especially in the second half. But then 3 is okay. Now Chelsea confidence going into the weekend games. It's every weekend games, I remember Benedict Akwaba na fe yenhwe Endra games Europa Conference League. Benedict no Akwaba.
You still me also.
Yeah, yenhwe conference Europa games
I think Indra Conference League games of course so there. I think predictions I mean my any BB I kind about 10 games beat me akono. And let me be with Real Betis. I think and yes di omunko because he share team on beat me that is the semi-final or the final. Asia Chelsea mo coming from the other side between Real Betis and Florentina to Mubako and maybe with the semi-final beat me in Yonko 8 more. I think in Romunia a good game. Playing at home, winning 2-0, not conceding is something. I think every team in the quarterfinals on any competition, Bernard Jane said, Opeso Eden Utiminya. With Chelsea game on Mubondra, I think Indra the first half was very poor. Now, it do baby after the first half, focus social media, Chelsea fans, at the pressure to Enzo Maresca Suye because I'm saying the first half was very poor. But I think in the second half, Utimi Hunyama Bakumi Nubia, Utimi changes. One thing with Enzo Maresca from the start of the season, now they back born home day and say, especially after first half, in the second half, Utimi pick 1 or 2 points, and you beat me Akachen and Branty and going into the game, make me bomb home day, it me about into that second half to get those goals. With Noni Madueke coming in, getting 2 goals, Jadon Sancho so getting 2 assists was something. And Tyre George also getting the first professional goal. I think the only thing that was disappointing on the night is Christopher Nkunku. We here go especially with this your friend is in Conference League with your friend saying top scorer no episode win because of Magui ye nim time or returning now at least that penalty was something I guess with me a share but when me and share Terry George getting that goal will be boosting the confidence. He has been one of the young players only a champion. I'm a bomb about because coming into this Chelsea team who a video Enzo Maresca to even giving them a locker with space they were advising them and they are coming into the team and performing to wala mebo o mabaso Sancho so you send the contract no and then the transfer no sense bibraba so getting 2 assists was something and is so important I bebo no ni madweke so wa brave especially when it comes to goals into I think all those things will boost your confidence going into the league game against Ipswich and also the second league Omniliga also for bebo. But I think the atmosphere, the atmosphere was great. Going to a stadium, I could see, say, even fans, showing that support for a club and making sure, say, they frustrate the opponent. It was very great. I think that is what makes the Europa or any European competition very nice, especially so obviously, say, this in quote small countries or in quote small teams they try to put pressure on the bigger teams and the atmosphere. But I think the Chelsea players were not scared of the atmosphere now because maybe Sundra said now football is near to the extent and now the young boys come into games and not panic. They feel say they are playing and they are professionals and they come into play. Indra, my player of the match, player for any juice be home. I be didn't home come over or a player be I think he adds more to the game with energy, with strength, with Indronya a lot of chances. Andra saying KS will beat me 2 goals. Sesanya no ni madweke timishe ya and Konune timishe Indra unya chance a ball the specific ruler no ball a Leicester Andra utimisi if me timi boss our ball. And I think with time I know said someone maybe you'll be moving from Chelsea. But he's been one of the players at any time he's being called to come into play and he comes in and performs so well. Indra yetimi a home performance with the Europa games of course Indra make a bodo glimpse as hasi say omu ye team bia omu home pitch no a different from any other pitch in Europe into koha o ye hwan ombehyew into Indra bet in power me de ma ahwefo no make say bodo glimpse against Lazio a big game but at least go there. Sa pitch no mbehye omo average at least 2 goals per game Nti ndra omu win 2-0 na nya ade ba kwa emo. I think the return leg ade ba kwa Lazio ebe o madwin so be bom modern but Bodo Glimt omu kwa away your performance na nya. Nti ndra I was expecting them to at least score 3 goals and make sure say omu is secured, especially going to Italy. But 2 goals going to Italy is something that they can try and see what they can do. I think the most surprising game about in the Europa League Rangers and Atletico Bilbao. Me can say Atletico Bilbao a team bia anytime you kwa away bia no good you be Rangers so concede. Rangers on the other hand is ombo homa o sure man no more sure, but this was a game we saw a 0-0 draw, which was very surprising. And also on the other hand, it was a good result for team Freno Atletico Bilbao. But I think it was also disappointing for them because in 13 minutes now Rangers player to me the red card no into me that crucial way going into the second leg they back a hard year papa, which they would say is taking the game to Spain, which the final will be played at their stadium near the back. They are looking out for say they can go to Spain and make sure say they defeat Rangers and qualify for the semi-finals. With Tottenham and Frankfurt in draw, me bet shares our game depend the same 16 odds. At the back where me answer ubi o share game num bi atimi who say crossbar pan say the ball crossbar bear 7 in the game. Now no the song they ball now way they ball during the first 25 minutes na 2 goals aba na me twen say me twa go over 2.5 tina go na ba just one crucial goal na bibia timi aden ato ye and the ball ni dey ball ba na so mo dey ball na keepers ni so ye saves game ni end 1-1. But I think a good result my Frankfurt in the game at Frankfurt see for me boy. I think possession, yes, Tottenham make a lot of possession because they are playing at home and it's man, but Frankfurt making sure say if they are to get the early goal they will try and defend well at Tottenham a equalizer. But I think that the second leg in Germany be Angie problem because of recent form of Madanidi, especially when they are moving away into a Bernard James going into that game. So be better me early go in the game. I say team free or more because the moment Frankfurt be an early go Germany about be a big problem. And my team, my friend Tottenham, and their only hopes of qualifying for the Champions League no a bit me ajigo. So mean to me the semi-final to the final into manage this competition, meaning next season they will go without any European competition. Now Angie ni say of every second season or J trophy no ain't me ember. So will Lyon any Man United? You said the conversation about this game any the euphoria around the game Nina Bejina Matic and Onana. So on the night Indra Mekanwa say if something is to happen, Onana needs to be one of the best goalkeepers on the day. And so making sure says Adano quite be so no obi anyone so say yeah Sampa we are the worst goalkeeper in Man United history or we are the best goalkeeper coming into the club. I mean Indra Onana Mobiati says Sampa he is one of the worst goalkeepers to come into this Man United team. With your team performing so well and conceding a goal 2 goals which was more of like a goalkeeping error. I think going forward a bedu baby next season enye mo say season is starting and more nyani players obet me about like on-field players obet me about na still Onana put up this performance Man United be Madrid on back of a goalkeeper for because in Europe they've been countless times this season what causing Man United from winning a game. You in the league phase, even in games, when you beat my bobo no nana up in ball, no they are changing about the fashion. The first goal as a goalkeeper, who mark your position, who make sure say you don't watch the players around, you focus on the ball. Send you on me a ball, but Onana every time one thing I've studied about him say he's always thinking for the player now. Ujina ni man and the player no ba ball no. Until every time or picking the wrong spot and a ball it no. Zegzi it share that crucial goal mom. Entering into that way additional time it was crucial say it was just 5 minutes additional time if Man United were to defend very solidly in community meaning that win of France for the first time or meeting win against Lyon. But a shot as a goalkeeper you don't mean him say we goalkeeper trainer, goalkeeping expecter. No goalkeeper with a short air ball. And yes, maybe players in players will win him. You don't try to protect the ball with both hands facing the ball. Obewa just obechi ball nada so. But Onana and Adrian saying the original senior born in Bebono, not later about that. So, but you know, say in the penalty box, there were a lot of players around you. Any rebound, they will score and draw. Where Leon Etiminya that 2-2. Coming to Old Trafford, a 1-1 draw is a good result for Man United. Everything aside, Omubo Bibia and Bruno Fernandes has been that key player in the Man United team. So Man United back here Bruno. Man United been a bad game Bruno. Now everything depends on your starting game now. Bruno been a good day and no good day. So Bruno in a good day, the team doesn't perform. Bruno in a good day, the team performs. Okay, their forward lines, you do Messi Mount, Mubemu, Ebenye boy. I think Hoyland at the end of the season, Quine Bia, so Man United Bejana Quine. Because being a striker in the team, Oshe performance or that idea is low, is very, very low. Because Oshe, the type of striker, with the strength, with the pace, any BB or what, now Fidie, Oshe performance or better nidi, Bo Beba, na the Huhian is only defenders, say energy, say only players better. Ebeshe good na so be finding spaces. In draw there were nice clear chances at Wintman finding space, but with Zegzi opportunity onyani, he was able to find that space ultimately share that crucial goal my team friend Man United. But I think the second leg at Old Trafford with the supporters, they need to come in and win. Almost situation now it's a Tottenham, they need to win the Europa competition to qualify for Europe. In TNA, so when to me win here, meaning say Tottenham Man United wouldn't qualify. But so say Europa knockout phase now, it can be a Tottenham Man United final, which will be one of the most exciting and crucial finals a bit me either AC, because with Tottenham baby on and no bit me share Bordeaux Glimt, with Man United in Suvinia, bit me share Lyon and Atletico Bilbao, so we can get an English or final.
Rangers or
Bilbao.
Okay.
Yes, we can get an English or final. I think it would also boost the coefficient for the English teams, especially going into competitions. You who Arsenal doing well, you who Chelsea also likely to win the Conference League. So and they say Man United and I thought Bako it me winning Conference League. It will be something it will be very good for England teams going forward. I think in draft those were the games coming up. I think investors there baby omo to ombo yes elections ne face can draft Tottenham any dia bro enya side anka 16 odds nke face ka MYBET.AFRICA.
Right, yeah, weekend games, you know, na fe yeah, weekend games, you know. Yeah, games ketwa and basu, yeah.
Listen, mommy, share to you for game na yeah, share the weekend games at basu. But first of all, I want to start with Liverpool. Any Mohamed Salah contract extension. I mean, the game now. I'm born in this weekend. I think that very good. It was obvious that Liverpool, one way or the other, were going to extend the contract of almost 3 players because Subekaya and Chebiana are more sporting director Robert Hughes joined the team. And you see, Listo, so Oko joined the team as a sporting director. Now say or joined the team as a sporting director. Then after joining the team, 3 most important players in the team was starting rebuilding because you have a model iron slot about a system and I evident that be a systematic process and Liverpool for no and I especially the Fenway group for here people are more data driven people see many guys of late until say Ghana has it you be accepting football as a business I ain't recreation and I ain't for fun. Definitely there are some of the things because my was saying play or both team or the Ghana Premier League even in the national team you always play being there say inside line plan if you go you how you be pay a better tribute to these players in the Osha coach to because say Andrea Ayew is not being called up to it because he's not been playing one friend people didn't talk. But right now, when he started playing at Oshe goals, people were making a case for Andrea Ayew, and yes, still coaches will NA. But you see, several times when Andrea was coming to the Black Stars team, we had to bench Sule Montari to play him. It got to a time they had to bench Stephen Appiah to play him just to accommodate the potential. But you see, we call Europa. Listen, the football business. Sometimes you have to be, and yes, be also more team here then, but. Who entertaining some name be you won't achieve whatever you want to achieve. So how a city former Sergio Konaguero.
Yeah.
That is how Omoyom a business. the fact that the legend maybe he's not of no use in it, you know. How be man continue feel say woman no be man bad. I mean, a best relationship with the club legend. Emma, whatever project you want to do, Emma need do so. But let's talk. Mohamed Salah this season has been scoring for fun for a Liverpool team. In fact, we check it the Premier League. Or no nearly the top scorer chart. We share 27 goals, provided 27 17 assists in the Premier League. And in fact, in all competition, near in a Liverpool for they have to go to a standard of most important players. So mean contract here. And you say in the football as a business at least. Player be no boy at the highest level, a kind of one the contract run down. Most of the times very difficult say obey extend the contract. When it happens so it means that if the player is extending the contract, so G 250,000, it means he's going 350,000. Because Oko free agent and team no Oko, they're signing on free and Liverpool Belgium. Ni na ko player no. Because a player like Mohamed Salah.
No transfer.
No, sorry, transfer.
Yeah.
Because player like Mohamed Salah, if say Oko Saudi and Oko any club in Europe, ni one Jokrade 30 million euros or pounds be there. Ni team in the Belgium. Player like Virgil van Dijk or Belgium, but you see, the reason why the Fenway Group, that is the Liverpool owners, no. They or more policy be say they don't sign players more than 30 years. Or more extended contract. What the 30 years ago, Chelsea was also having such a when Marina Gunners come by who were 30 years. They will extend your contract, but they won't give you more than 2 years. Or more 1 year. If they believe that or more analysis, they will check data will strength will be announced actually. Wait me about to a highest level next season. They know. So they will check if you can play to the highest level next season. They give you additional plus one. But Liverpool, the Fenway Group on policy, no, when you're 30 plus years, they don't extend your contract unless they see that maybe you are with me above me in some ways. Then they will just clip you off. No Marco. Into area, they are doing everything possible best to make me. I extended Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah. Finally, Salah I extended 2 years out. About 8 years for Liverpool since Obe joining Liverpool in 2017. He's been doing so much work for them. And they check it 184 goals I share and the Liverpool in the Premier League. The highest club recorder all year. And apart from that, we show almost 243 goals in all competition at the Liverpool. Or don't the third a friend saying highest scorer for Liverpool. And if he continues to play for a year or two, he might be the club's all-time top scorer and maybe among the club greatest of all time. In the list to watch Salah this season now. In as much as he's been scoring for fun across all competition. And if Liverpool ultimate year, Waji trophy beer with Liverpool since 2017 or joining Liverpool. In the say as a comfort first picture then to so on the graph or Alan Shearer, Harry Kane. Him being the joint top scorer, 5th joint top scorer for the Premier League. And in fact, we check it all these players or no the joint player on free Englander or no so the joint top scorers. You look at the goals per 90 and the number of games about Alan Shearer over 400 games and he scored over 200 or 260 goals or the all-time top scorer in the Premier League. You look at Harry Kane who played over 300 games also share 213 goals for Tottenham Hotspur or in the Premier League. You look at Wayne Rooney, he also played over 500 games, over 400 games and also shared 208 games. 208 goals. You look at Andrew Cole, who scored who played over 400 games, also share 187 goals. And the two players are having the 5th joint all-time goals tally. Brandt and the other say Joe Kunagoro. Also ball over 200 to 300 games. I also share 184, and arguably Mohamed Salah every break his record to be the sole 5th time top scorer. Also bet me we hope that even season we crown bet me the 4th, and people believe that bet me break Wayne Rooney and Harry Kane if he's staying for the next 2 years. And you see, apart from this listo, you check Mohamed Salah, the numbers. How he has been consistent with Liverpool Nti ne that the second graph na as a second picture ne beto so amia. Eno ekasa about Mohamed Salah, the attacking numbers in terms of goals and assists for 81 at the Liverpool. So of free Roma ebe joining a year Liverpool. List all. That season was the best ever season for Liverpool. In fact, that season was a lot of goals. Edge the goal king, Edge the best player, and that season Soji the African Player of the Year. In 2017-2018 games are Obama Liverpool. List all. Was 32 goals. It provided 10 assists, which is 42 goals contribution for a year. Mohamed Salah, and in fact, he is the player who shared 10 plus goals. Asanso provided 10 plus assists in the Premier League across all Premier League player YSR 3 times at Twaso. Into YSR 3 times at Twaso on 2 different occasions. Player being YSR record nibi. And 2018-2017, 2018-2019 season for Liverpool list to was 22 goals. It provided 8 assists. 2019-2020 season or share 19 goals. Share 10 goals. The first season he was giving double numbers, but when Timian catch up in the first season, 2020-2021 list over or share 22 goals. It provided 5 assists. 2021-2022 season or also share 20 or share 23 goals. It provided 13 assists, which is almost 36 goals contribution for Liverpool that season. 2022-2023 or share 19 goals. It provided 12 assists and 24 or involving in 28 goals. Into last season, a lot of Liverpool players and I saw like Yamanenko because Omufili said 22-23 ni goals no and last season no when Timmy Andrew the peak and this season was silent so more in a list to watch 27 goals. I provided 17 assists. And so you look at this season and season Salah I provided a lot of assists. Or provided a lot of assists in the Premier League for since or every year Liverpool 17 assists, the most than any other winger in the European top flight league this season. In fact, no other winger Europe top flight this season or more goals and assists as in Brandon Ade Mohamed Salah Liverpool team. And you see, people ask that why would the Fenway group decided say this or policy, their club policy say and would 30 years yes, no contract. You best no cry. 1 year be then, and I say even if you stay even in the club, you'll be getting playing time. It all talks about the a friend say a very big projection if you are going to be useful in the next future. Into Russia, Robert Hughes list or only the sporting director for Liverpool. Only Mohamed Salah agent. Edding Komo for a very long time, for several months just to get the Egyptian international to stay with a Liverpool team. No, into Liverpool sporting director Robert Hughes list or joining team 1 year more any. So Uber joining team, then you lose such important players in a space of a year. Uber lose Arnold, Uber lose Van Dijk, Uber lose Salah. It's going to be very hard to replace them at the highest level.
Yeah.
Into Van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate. Oji 88,000. He's also requesting for pay rise. Also almost very close to 250,000 pounds a week. In all these things together, if Ubelisu Van Dijk, one never be replacing Van Dijk, above even to 50% higher than Van Dijk. Maybe Alexander Arnold, Onyandu 30 years or 26 years, they wanted to make him the club captain, but Arnold, he believes that he has won it all at Liverpool. He has to move ahead, play for Real Madrid, also win other trophies. Maybe at the end of the career very lucrative. He don't want to be that kind of legend that one clubber or bring that legendary status. So club and any management are making it clear, and they are going. And whatever hurts Liverpool fans, and they say at least this is a boy they didn't pay a dime for, and if he's going for free, at least one more Waji trophies amount, or share goals, or making a lot of assists at the amount and goals amount. But some of the Liverpool fans believe that he should have at least extended the contract for them to at least get the money. But that means kind of the fans. Then Robert Hughes and Remy Abbas Issa, who is the agent for Mohamed Salah, list all. Omandi come on for almost more than 6 months, and finally, Omandi reach agreement and Salah. Apart from say or extended contract, no, he's also coming to earn £375,000 a week, the highest in the club history. Liverpool a bit Fiama player, so Abeji says can. It tells you how important Robert Hughes had to make that statement. In Tene, getting Mohamed Salah locked down to Liverpool contract to next 2 years. One of the most important things that Robert Hughes by joining Liverpool as a sporting director, he has to do. And right now, the next steps they say Salah Babe are extending the contract. Can he play to the next level? Because Liverpool for the list of your club legend saying no what the 30+ years, no more as a Charlie for the next season. Won't me provide any impact to the team? They won't extend your contract. In today, as I had the last one, better so dear mommy. This graph show you Mohamed Salah used to signs say if Salah is going to slow down and as Mohamed Salah is going to play at the highest level. In today, a check since or joining Liverpool team no. How are in terms of his speed? Used to this season, no other player in the Premier League and then they walk top speed than Mohamed Salah. And yen Salah, not the ball and any speed. Born to one on the speed of this season. When you're 33 years, the speed of more and answer higher than the previous seasons, especially last season. There when you are going to Russia 2018-2019 season. Top speed Salah was 30.9 kilometer per hour. That was Mohamed Salah top speed. In 2019-2020, on your 30.3 top speed. In 2020-2021, on your 30.1, and in the 2020-2022, it's rising to 30.9, and also 2022-2023, about 30.7, and then finally this season, when you're a top speed of 31.1 kilometer per hour, that is the most by any player in the Premier League this season. In the Liverpool for at least the kind of goals I watch and the speed that Mohamed Salah so the health issues or one of the players at least watch the physical on change anytime he's that guy now in the abs everything so they believe that with Mohamed Salah the condition with the physical condition data skill can afford the abanches 32 years actually list or speedy up or recording a higher top speed this season than any player or than any of the 6 years before. So it doesn't show say Salah list or slow down and 19 in the next 2 years. Almost checking the physical condition. It means that from now going, Obetima recover and also Obetima recorded 31 plus, not more than time and not one in 20s and now one in late 20s. No, and say the data and for club almost leaning heavily on data. And then Osha Saka Salah the physical ni nyama na enyanko on notice and so e boa explain why Liverpool for confident say he can continue I'll bet him perform at the highest level for the next 2 years and the contract will be running down. And at that moment you the now my no mean a perfect replacement for Mohamed Salah. So maybe next season going he might not play as much as more games what about this season or in the previous seasons, but Mohamed Salah one way or the other will play and still play at the highest level. He will provide a lot of goals for them. What you Salah saying, a lot of clubs, a lot of players in the league are not happy. So when Ola Aina video because Salah is standing there, I feel the baby. He's a player of Obama Nottingham Forest, and if the player of such caliber Ebe announces say Charlie, say Salah sign here, Charlie, you would and the clubs in Yehudia. It tells you how Mohamed Salah, how important he is for Liverpool. And our Liverpool supporters, they are not surprised that Omar is standing contract for Mohamed Salah. So the reason why Liverpool for no Omar defy Omo policy. The firm will for defy policy. I stand the contract of a 33-year-old Mohamed Salah or 32 or 33, as I'm corrected. Omar is extending the contract and they are on the verge of extending the contract of a year, another 30 plus years a year. Virgil van Dijk. It tells you that these players, the data wise, they can play to the highest level next year. Because Van Dijk more about this season. Nothing shows next season will be free and now still now near my end. So I think that Liverpool extending the contract of Branton and Eddie Mohamed Salah a very huge boost for them. And Yami game against West Ham, I think that they might also get a win. Liverpool extending the contract of Liverpool for this season at home. If Gomoko were in car, there will be some GTSB starting. But they are playing at Anfield, and this is players last game boy they couldn't pick a win there. That was against Everton. And West Ham this season, I don't see say West Ham will be a team used to obey Liverpool, especially at Anfield. Or more defense, no, any defense will make them stop Liverpool. So Liverpool up against West Ham, I see that Liverpool is going to win. Especially Salah will announce the presence after that contract extension and the Omaniano. Kudus, Solar, Paqueta, any Boemo, they might as well try as much as possible to get a goal. But watch Liverpool this season, most of our games, over 90% or 95% of our games are listed on my board or home. As our games thing now, Omutim recorded 2 goals or plus, and then Alisson Becker I fine or be recover after the head injury. There's a lot of few players Omutim Liverpool, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold on yes. Aside that, all Liverpool players no into Conor Bradley will cover in for Alexander-Arnold, especially who Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister. All players are available, and I don't see West Ham stopping Liverpool. In as much as right now, Liverpool every morning the only trophy waiting this season the Premier League, because already we also the FA, the EFL, to Eddie Newcastle, the Champions League with free move. And if he has to, after Arsenal airdrop a point, if he has to win the next 4 games, that means that he will be champions before Obeshia Arsenal, then Arsenal be man that guide. And they Arsenal about Brentford. That's also another crucial game. And after that 3-0 victory against Real Madrid, no, I think that Arsenal for no will be very much confident. In as much as Omokako against Real Madrid, no, I don't know. It will depend on the lineup. Arsenal for the Brentford game, no. Right now, looking at the points gap, it looks unlikely. So make Magic Premier League. And Omundo money back also share the Champions League. So for me, Arsenal might be able to drop a lot of players. Obit say Saka. I don't see say they will play Saka because originally free injury by I don't mind a lot of games Arsenal maybe or defenders they might play their defenders Gabriel White Saliba Kiwo and maybe Omereste Martins Lewis Kelly ama team abo Odegaard beat me abo Jorginho Merino beat me abo Nwaneri Trossard next time beat me starting. But with this player starting, who could share Brentford, or full in Buemo, or Wissa, or Damsgaard, any of players in any Brentford in the Premier League this season. Attack is very sharp, and any team be able to share Nibian, who could share Thomas Frank Sider, or make me set up frustration just from set pieces, from counter attack, or move both that PC and tricky football of Brian Buemo, anyway, but several Arsenal players will be desperate, say at least almost wait my showcase. He said they need to be starting Santiago Bernabeu. So I think that this game, Arsenal might rest Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Sakamo. They might rest these players because they have a very bigger task ahead of them. That was Santiago Bernabeu and Yami Adman next week. So that game, I'll go in for a double chance for Arsenal. But I won't be surprised if Brentford Ekokopeke 3 maximum points Emirates. But I mean the venue they are going to play very very crucial for them, very very difficult for them, and I don't see say omit me Ekokoshe Arsenal. So maybe a point or a handicap 2 for Brentford highly possible. Barcelona Beko Leganese, it should be an easy peasy for Barca. They want to win the league, they want to win the Champions League, they want to win the Copa del Rey. So what they have to do is say we have to be strategic in whatever we are doing. So right now, Naibia Madrid, so Elusu to Arsenal. Is Carlo Ancelotti going to rest the players? Because when you say is Jumano ICA, so maybe over resting the players over the weekend, not the Kwakobo Arsenal game. Nan. You should him how the Real Madrid hierarchy or the Real Madrid technical staff want to approach this game. But in as much as Mimi say he go all out in the game on Barca used to work. When he came here 4-0 lead against a team and the Dortmund. And all he has to do is say the highland on stage say on conceding 4 goals against a Borussia Dortmund. Against Leganes, they also want to win the league. He might as well rest some key players. Maybe Lewandowski so make him rest, but maybe Fran Torres, Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. These players, I see them playing for Barcelona against Leganes. And yes, still Barcelona needs to win the league. On person money that treble, on person money that quadruple this season. And Barcelona leading the table already with 4 points. Even if we pick a point, I don't know if he's going to rest a lot of players, but the Champions League is already a done deal for them. So I think that Barcelona is going to win against Team Andin at the Leganes. Also in the Serie A, Juventus bebo Lecce. Since Omopam Thiago Motta, they've been doing very well. I see Juventus winning that game. Juventus win n over 1.5. Inter Milan, they are also in the Champions League. A victory against Bayern Munich, so they don't have nothing to lose. But the thing is, the race against Napoli is very high, and they won't risk it. And I also see Inter Milan going full out. I don't see the coach ever dropping some players. Maybe Anatovic bet me starting in the space. I bet me replace Lautaro Martinez, but Thuram will play. If Thuram will ball, they have Mkhitaryan, Barella Moba. They are still players who bet me and any other day who bet me check Cagliari. The Cagliari game, any game, bet me intimidate. The Nerazzurri say who take it to the Serie A. So in that game too, over 1.5 goals, highly possible for Team Andin at the Inter Milan. List all. There is the Rome gamer Ebekoso, and what check here, Lazio any Roma fan, they want to secure a top spot in this game. Lazio 25 and Roma 21, they are both among the top 4 for goals scored in the first half hit this season. These two teams, list all say first half in the Serie A, teams are top 4 or share a lot of goals in the first half. These two teams, Lazio share 25 and Roma share 21. In this game, it's a derby, Rome derby, but first half over 0.5, first half over 1.5. Safe option, but Lazio already when can call Lusu. And Roma form now since Claudio Ranieri joined them, they are on a very fine form, and I don't see Lazio scoring this Roma team. So maybe a double chance for Roma, highly possible in this game. Then also Bayern Munich against Dortmund. Bayern for no, list all. If Dortmund for share Bayern, I won't be surprised because this game. In fact, call my better. You can equally avoid this game and answer call goals. Because I don't see say maybe league no Bayern Eddie can't go watch him dada. He might be able to rest Olise. Obetima rest Harry Kane. Obetima rest Abraham Jamal Musiala already with prayer dada. Obetima rest these key players. And Dortmund already know he doesn't have nothing at stake. But also to secure the top 4 because the only top 4 spotter Nanka Dortmund bet me about Champions League was to win the Champions League, and it looked unlikely. So they are going all out in the Bundesliga. Last games are bad. If they are able to win all these games and lose some few games and now drop some few points, they might be able to make them about the top 4 spots. So in this game, a very very tricky for Bayern to win. But the best option is where Dortmund handicap 2, handicap 1, double chance for Borussia Dortmund, and also both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in that game.
Right,
yes, I think we can wait the games I can see year palm. Measure best start here for the Italian Serie A, that is Lazio any AS Roma game on but these two teams now, especially Lazio with the friend is saying with Europa League game or home. This is one crucial game for them, especially meeting team IFN Roma. Omuni na pe a Champions League spot at least in the Serie A and Tusha. Omo boso ewo league nesu year pan Lazio 55 and Roma 53. With a win for any of them, they can get into the Europa League or the Conference League spot available among. So it will be a very crucial game. But one thing a war game we will say anytime be a Lazio ebebo home. Roma a team be an away form no on and off. So mostly bones will be going to a game. There are some games losing 3-0 to team a friend Bilbao in the last Europa League at Europe. Anytime two teams will be sharing, mostly our goals in time back into a last Europa game done anymore Bordeaux Glimt or Bernard Jane said this will be a game so on to me we need they could go for a draw into their last 5 meetings. It's only 2 games. Any team who are 1.5 happening in it. The Akina is just a one goal any team by a game. But one thing I made me a for I'm on my especially going into this game. They say this game a game be mostly the yellow card type of pan. He name him say Italian league games, no tough games. Yellow card, but until last 6 games are about head to head against team FN Roma. Nini na yellow card to be more than 4 or more. Into any say obi person cause our game ma under 3.5 one option I made me a castle on for and also yellow card of 5 or more and now over 4.5 yellow cards adebako beat me because anytime you mbeshia bi an yellow card adebako a etimi etai ebo pa ewo ho yenko Spain Real Madrid ene Alaves ebebo no inter Real Madrid in same be because say they've been times as a players ni been community coaching staffs no ene nyama ba kumienu so this is a crucial game for them. So Real Madrid person picking momentum to that Arsenal game and that away game against Alaves. Let's go team calling making sure so Belgium and Washa Alaves ye at this momentum need that Wednesday game on the Arsenal bebo. Until I say oh yeah rehearsal sakwa coach ya big game no. They need to bring all their men on, make sure say they get all the crucial goals on here and now obeshe going into that game. This game with one gamer Real Madrid say a cat team okwa away first half on lusu and okwa away first half okuta the best former Real Madrid into any so be person or come and MYBET.AFRICA coach bet maybe or so Real Madrid game me or rest players because of Arsenal game numa Real Madrid first half win or draw a one option it would never be wrong because a La Liga and more be any first half record as in team my friend Real Madrid. This game was mostly averaging over 2.5 goals. The last time my man bought over 2.5 Real Madrid echo away sa or share Alaves 1-0. But apart from that, every game beyond Bebobia over 2.5 likely say Bebo. So me come and MYBET.AFRICA the optional me call for a Real Madrid win or draw over 2.5 and I maybe first half win or draw my best for my bet builder optional obetimi akika win na bom amu etimi afiska mu edupa with Dortmund any we Bayern Munich game on Bebo. I think it will be a game e be here Dortmund ye saying team a friend Bayern Munich especially with their 2-1 defeat to Inter Milan in the Champions League omu to kwako Italy league in so say me watch league in 6 points do say enso sa but it will be something a Bayern Munich wouldn't like to lose even though they would like to rest players but they wouldn't like to lose this game against Dortmund. Game needs to be a game ebe here Dortmund here because what me win meaning say obetimi ada asunda I said next season anya hwe Conference League Europa League bidia betimi abobe him said that any Dortmund standard but this is in Nyama Nkoye so they would also go in with all their men to make sure so betimi actually team a friend Bayern Munich. But looking at their Champions League games, Dortmund against Barcelona will lose 4-0. I don't think they would like to rest players for that Barcelona game. They would like to go in all out. It's a Champions League no they are ultimately Barcelona 5. So they need to put all men into this game to make sure say on the Bayern so timi wini etimi qualify for that European position available. Bayern Munich on the other hand ebewo in two minds. Resting players, making sure so be caught that Inter Milan game to win or go in all out because league now close 6 points in here. So lose this game, I mean it's about 3 points. There is a chance Leverkusen, it's the only competition be able can come and overturn it around. This will be one game both team to score. Likely say bet me about Bayern. Anytime you be share coach a friend Niko Kovac or Niko Kovac into me winning against some more. Into any bad
with the situation, sir, they have a very difficult game to play yes. At the Allianz Arena. I wonder at the Giuseppe Meazza would that have effect?
No,
on
I don't
Bayern?
think it will have an effect because
on Bayern team
no, because now the league is so close. She says just 6 points between or no any Leverkusen. Osho league now those say they play lesser games. Into almost 5 to 6 games, and they so lose this game meaning say. Leverkusen only competition be abo any who free DFB pokal. Okay. They would like to go all force and make sure say they close in as they are progressing in the Champions League. The bet means what how on this league phase any in himself class beat Paris Saint-Germain or J League. So in the league game about this weekend, no bet me arresting the players just to win. But Bayern, though say company also blended, putting at least enough players who can win him the game within the first half or Bayern again say in the first half they will be more solid and come and win the game in the second half. But Nina be depending on the structure and the tactics of going into the game. But I think game ni here Dortmund seeing Bayern Munich. But with the league senior close in it, it will be one thing that they wouldn't like to go in and rest all their players based on say Obekwa Kushia Inter Milan. Yeah, share the EPL games about so Arsenal and Brentford. I think it will be one game at odds Nebaki Arsenal to win. But I think Arsenal is here at the moment. Those say the Premier League gap no just 11. anything can happen. Obetimi a close that gap and still go ahead and win the league, depending on Liverpool performance. As I say, I drop kakra. But that Real Madrid game is more important to them than the Premier League at this moment, because the only trophy are after Arsenal for Ansano every time is the Champions League. It's going head to head with team friend Real Madrid, the giants of the Champions League, defeating them 3-0, going away to Santiago Bernabeu, which will be a very difficult game for you. Arsenal Bernabeu said they will go into that game well prepared and make sure say SO team win against Real Madrid. Thomas Frank, this will be one game because they were failing to win against Arsenal in 7 games or against Arsenal. Until six defeat and 1 draw. And then anybody because when him say Arsenal for their 1 IL Champions League. So this is the chance I to me break his record. No. You heard this fixture. Anytime be Arsenal be home against Brentford, no, do we see a both team to score? Over 1.5 and so a like less option a bit me about it. And then Obi come and MYBET.AFRICA. Me tune for say over 1.5 in this game. One option a bit me call or Arsenal win or draw over 1.5 because Minjin this Arteta will lose this game because of Thomas Frank recorder or war against Arsenal, and surely there will be 2 or more goals because of Brentford attack with Mbemo. Any Wisamo, the way they are adding more into attack, they will be able to at least get a goal against him, a friend or Brentford, against him a friend Arsenal. Manchester City, Crystal Palace, 11:30. You name him, Man City. Anytime they about 11:30, no. Nyama intimi nkoye man. The last fixture boy, our boy 11:30. Nottingham Forest, no. Crystal Palace. See a can't team okuta the best away form currently. EP on Crystal Palace. In his last 20 away games, so about 14 first half, Kwan Bia so Crystal Palace to Michel go. Into going into a game against Manchester City, who Nottingham Forest getting a goal in the first half against Manchester City, City into Betty. Into Crystal Palace will depend on this record and making sure say they're going into this game in the first half, so teaming a goal against Manchester City. And apart from their recent game, Utimi conceded against Southampton. Crystal Palace echo almost 8 games away, non-conceded. Until they would like to revisit that record and keep it against Manchester City. I think every Chelsea fan be looking at this game in Ibeji because with form Crystal Palace away, especially when they visit Manchester City. Chelsea fan be say at least Manchester City should lose or draw against him a friend Crystal Palace so that they can get a chance to qualify. In their last 5 meetings, this game has averaged at least 1.5 and it's increased to a 2.5. In Tianyamwa, say Crystal Palace visiting Manchester City, no, obetimi aqua koshi 2 goals because in their last 4 meetings with Manchester City, the Etihad, Crystal Palace averaging 2 or more goals. In tennis, will become MYBET.AFRICA. Crystal Palace to score 2 or more goals. One of the highest risk bet, I think, it will give you a lot of money on your bet slip. But Crystal Palace to score, likely say bet me about because of their record or more, especially when anytime they go on away. I think this game would be a draw. I'm seeing a 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw for team a friend Crystal Palace and Manchester City. I'm not seeing Manchester City winning against Crystal Palace, especially missing their key man, that is Erling Haaland. Every time on Bishop Crystal Palace, he's the man to get in the goals, and they need to be one fixture. I'm seeing a draw, so a both team to score and over 2.5 over 1.5 for Crystal Palace to score or Crystal Palace to score 2 goals in this game. Bet build, I'll bet him their half is Kapan. Man United and Newcastle. Senka Man United going into their return league on Lyon Bebo a game at least in Kodebe Jujuni one Kenya game against Newcastle because Newcastle a good form, especially meeting Manchester United. Man United Adeba Kwa why and they say anytime be a Man United ebe share a team like Newcastle in the first 15-20 minutes, no Man United a team concede.
Man United kwa away. So we lose.
Eno na Mr. Amebo by a year then ya obetimi elusu. Ushe United is be or that league log ni ho a. Losing ya Adeba Kwa emboano. Because Tottenham, Everton, West Ham, even Wolves etali neto. Sisi only Wolves just 6 points. Memfa say Ipswich mo na omudi omko relegation, but so Man United am born home or on your lucky season bend, you know that 16th and a 17th position. In TNA, these are crucial games. I don't know how Ruben Amorim ebe na Jane say obe to Chinyama because in Man United last 2 away games our bono. Chris Oko Leicester Eko Piki 3-0 Adebako Ebuano. Apart from that, in the Akina Nkoye. Into this will be one difficult game for Man United. Playing at a friend is saying Newcastle home Adebako Man United Bray. The last time of Piki victory was a 4-1 in 2020. Free Hawk on Man United. Intimi Nkowini ho, and the name say the last time we team share Newcastle was that is the cup final or my boy. Apart from that, Newcastle Latin Man United in Nigeria. I'm making sure say every time we are United be share in their last 2 meetings no we team keep a clean sheet. Last season United Intimi and Koshego or Crystal Palace home. Yeah, she said this game a draw would be a good result for Man United and would also be a good result for teams of Newcastle play the top 5 way for European competition, which Adebako this will be one game every team better say Newcastle beat me, but option I make for a Newcastle win 1.5 in this game and also Newcastle to score 2 or more goals also in this game. The last game I make here Chelsea in Ipswich. The Chelsea fan be Abeka. This was one fixture free hakon and a Chelsea carry and see it after this game against Ipswich and a boy draw against Everton and a Nyama Ejiguye. But one thing a boy Chelsea say it was Stamford Bridge. Their record at Stamford Bridge, Ababeya Adebakwa, is very good, especially going into any game. The last time we lose a game at Stamford Bridge was against Fulham back in December. Here we are 2025. You can't teams are home. We on performance was through we Paris Saint-Germain, we Barcelona, over Chelsea account. They've played some crucial games at home. They've picked clean results. But the only thing Ababeya worrying is that now Chelsea are learning to keep clean sheets. In their last 4 home games, we may keep 4 clean sheets. But to say a goal scoring is a problem, especially at home. In their last 3 home games, it has ended 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. In a game against Ipswich or Chelsea, in that crucial game, now Ipswich win a game, home a win over Chelsea. Say Chelsea playing at home, then on beat me Chelsea apart from July 2020 winning 6 home games twice no otimi winning game where no wetima equals our record no winning 6 home games twice in the Premier League being said. I think with Ipswich it will be one key game for Chelsea. I think there are players in the game people would like to watch. Obi to say Delap who say Chelsea didn't home come say be on Bekwa signing. This will be the game Chelsea fans been a full 90 minutes on beat me the lap. Say is he the player to come into this Chelsea team and beat me abua. But the record doesn't back Ipswich, especially to obviously Stamford Bridge. The last time about Stamford Bridge in 2011, Chelsea shared 7-0. Apart from that, anytime they are Chelsea in the ball, it was Stamford Bridge. Chelsea to mission 2 or more goals in TNA. So become MYBET.AFRICA. I think this will be a game. Chelsea will surely win. And I'm seeing a 1.5. I'm not sure Chelsea can put up 2 or more goals in this game, especially with their recent home form. Into Chelsea win and over 1.5 in the game. I bet one of the options are Obi bit me for maybe Kopama to score Adebako bit me who this weekend. I think Kopama I may see out goals a lot, especially after December Ntimi go in he can get a goal against Ipswich. I'm obit me at me my Chelsea team. No, that Champions League spotter. They are fighting out for them beat me. And weekend way there, MYBET.AFRICA be there with odds. I can see any aka bonus, any bet builder options or more money. You bet me run platform. No, it's me a fiscal weekend way. MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay, yeah, Chama, share.
Okay, so my daily chops a few selected games. I start a game on Wolfsburg and RB Leipzig game over 1.5 goals in that game. Udinese AC Milan a straight win for AC Milan. Valencia and Sevilla game over 1.5 goals in that game. And Burnley and Norwich City a straight win for Burnley. Means it should be Wolfsburg RB Leipzig over 1.5 goals in that game. Udinese AC Milan a win for AC Milan. Valencia Sevilla over 1.5 goals in that game. And Burnley Norwich City a win for Burnley. Code no S2KY S2KY.
Okay, me sleeps and me sleep and me dey match for Friday there. Emu there. Interne Galatasaray ebo. That Galatasaray game on the Sansu Sport. A very big game. Emma Galatasaray. So to me we a meaning say to me secure that league spot beat me abuano. I think Galatasaray they may call for Galatasaray to win and over 1.5 or Udinese any AC Milan win or draw and over 1.5. Wolfsburg any RB Leipzig over 2.5 for that game. And Valencia and Sevilla, that game news may share Sevilla 2 goals to win against Team FN Valencia. Code no W2KY. W2KY MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay, mame fa media na embra na fe yankoyenim. Honum Assad home. Assad home win. Karabakh eko away win. Ana Al Duhail home win. Al Ali Saudi away win. Spartak Moscow home win. Greater Foot any Cologne over 1.5. Hamburg win either half. Aalborg BK any Limby BK over 1.5. Galatasaray any Samsung Sport. Galatasaray to score 2 goals. Wolfsburg ne Leipzig away goal. Lens ne Reims over 1.5. Udinese any AC Milan over 1.5. Anna Burnley ne Norwich. Burnley win either half. Anna Victoria Guamares away goal. Inti ano ye mede. Nyame aduma Monday ye be hia na mum hia say weekend also no. Ye de beto group nim na we hu de ekọ ne de eba nti bomode a na join e Sports Arena our Telegram account.